Welcome in this second unit. I will talk about a software that we develop at INRAE called SHineMas. So it is an introduction to this software. It is a web tool dedicated to seedlot history, phenotyping and cultural practices. And for this presentation, I will be the main speaker. I don't think that Isabel will be late to talk on SHineMas, but maybe she will be able to answer some questions if you have some. So I will be fast on this one because Adrian already introduced the module this morning. So we are indeed in the module 2, Phenomics, approaches on tools for genetic resources and breeding material characterization. And so we are indeed in the second unit, Intro to SHineMas. So I will be fast on this one. And I will present the outline of this training. So I will have some words on how this will be organized, and I will introduce SHineMas and give you an overview of the software. Then I will describe the basic objects that we manipulate in SHineMas. So this will be a set of definition of concepts of the tool. And I will show you how to administrate data in this tool. And after that, how to explore the data. And in the end, we will have a short quiz, so you will be able to download a file and as previously for the training of Adrian, you will have to send the answer by email. And then I will talk a bit about a second session, which will be optional. So I will enter in the details after, but it will be a bring your own data day, and I will explain the concept after. So how this will be organized. So today, this is an introduction presentation of the tool. And in 1 week, we will have a second session, a bring your own data day, that will be optional, as I said. And for this first session, we will probably give priority to LiveSeeding partners. The main issue is that as you will work on a server, we can't have too much trainers. So it will be open for, I think, 15 trainers maximum. But I will be able to organize other sessions if you are interested in testing the tool. So today, this will be more a kind of static presentation, like a webinar. I try to divide it in short session with question and answer. So I talk under the control of Petra, but I don't know if she prefers to have some session of 15 minutes with question answers and or to keep the questions for the end of the presentation. But the idea is to make it interactive as much as possible. And in 1 week, the idea of the bring your own data day is to I will set up a demonstration instance of SHineMas, and you come online with your data and you play with the tool and you try to submit your data in the tool. So now a quick overview of the tool. So in 2025, in 2005, Isabelle started a collaboration with the Réseau Semences Paysannes in France on participatory plant breeding programs, and they aim to develop wheat populations that fits organic farming requirements and to understand on-farm biodiversity. And along the time, the project involved more and more farmers that work on more than 300 varieties. and this amount of data implies the requirements of data management for two reasons mainly. Because we had heterogeneous data like cultural practices, phenotyping, environment data, and they needed to be centralized. And we needed to track the history of seedlots, so the stock level, the location of the seedlot, and mainly the genealogy of the seedlot. And we needed to ensure this traceability. And the main problem is that to ensure this traceability with flat files is something a bit tricky. So the team that I led, it is mainly an IT team. We started to develop a software in the lab, and it is a database tool with a web interface that we call SHineMas for seed history and network management system. And the objective of this tool was to create a tool that can be used both by researchers, but also RSP facilitators, with the aim to ensure their autonomy in data management. So as I said, it is a web application with a database, and the tool provides interfaces both to manage and to explore data. So you will have two kind of users in SHineMas, the one that administrates the data, and some users that have only access in read-only to the data. So basically, this is a kind of information that you can store in SHineMas. So to explain this schema, you have a little circle here in blue on the farm one, and you have three farms, three locations, and we can see that this seedlot. So the circle is a seedlot, and the color represents the germplasm, the biological material. The seedlot have been diffused from the farm one to the farm two, and in 2008, the seedlots have been sown on the two farms, on the farm one and the farm three, and they have been multiplicated. You can see that the farm three also have another seedlot of another germplasm. So I will explain after what we call by germplasm. It has been also multiplicated. And so on, the following year, the seedlots have been also multiplicated. We can see that the white seedlot have been selected. It is depicted by the blue line. And these seedlots have been multiplicated several years after to see, for example, the impact of the selection. The seedlot here, I don't see if you see my mouse when I move, because I am showing something with my mouse, but
yes, it's okay.
Okay, thank you, Isabel. So the seedlot have been diffused on the farm two, and the farmer two used three different seedlots of three different germplasm and mixed them. And you can see that the resulting seedlot is in a different color. It is because we consider that when we mix seedlots of different germplasm, we will create a new one, and so on. You can see also in 2013 that we crosses two different seedlots of different germplasm to create a new one. So we make a distinction between mixtures that can involve several seedlots and a cross that will involve only two seedlots, and one that will be considered as a male and the other one as the female. So now, how SHineMas will manage data at the feed. So SHineMas is compliant with annual species, such as maize, wheat, and other annual species. The tool is also compliant with biennial, triennial, or perennial species, but we do not have feedback on this kind of species on the usage of SHineMas. And about the field description, you can divide your field in microplot, and data can be stored at this plot level, or you can also describe some plants. A seedlot can be sown on several plots, so you can do repetition, but only one seedlot of the same species can be sown on a single plot. The reason is that we consider that if you want to sow several seedlots of the same species, you have to do a mixture before. But you can do some mix of species on the same micropot. This is depicted by this figure on the right. So quickly, just technical stuff about SHineMas. Just remind that the software is distributed under free license. It is an FRGPL license. It is available on the GitLab instance of INRAE, and you have an article that describes the software. So you have here a link to the DOI. So I don't know if you have some question at this stage. So if there is no question, I can go to the next section. Okay, I don't see anything in the chat. So now I will define the different objects, the concepts that we manipulate in SHineMas. So I already talked a bit about germplasm. So the germplasm in SHineMas is what we consider the genetic resources. It is defined by a name, a species, a type, and possibly a person if you have the information of who created this germplasm. And the type of the germplasm is a way to put category to a germplasm. It can be a population, an organic heterogeneous material, but also a line, etc. So it's up to the administrator to define the different type of germplasm. Next, you have seedlots. This is the main object that we will manipulate in SHineMas. So we can consider it as the physical instance of genetic resources. It is defined by its name, a germplasm, a year. So it is, in a general way, the year of creation of the seedlot. So it can be an harvesting year or the year that when you received a seedlot from another farmer, and the location. You can also link other information to this seedlot. So you can have storage information, such as the quantity level of the seedlot, but also the devices in which you will store the seedlot. And you have information on the generation of the seedlot, meaning how much time it has been multiplied overall in its history, but also on the farm with a confidence level. And just an important things about seedlots. The name of the seedlot is formatted as follows. So you will have the name of the germplasm with the location, the year, and a numeric. And this numeric is just an incremental number that ensure uniqueness of the seedlot in the database. So in one system, in one instance of SHineMas, you will have a unique name that will define each seedlot. So just to make a short focus on the generation. So here you have an example of a seedlot that started to be multiplied on the farm 1 in 2018, and it has been multiplied 2 times before being diffused to the farm 2, and on the farm 2 it has been multiplied 3 times. So if we take the seedlot with the yellow circle that is focused here, we have a generation number of 5 since 2018, but the generation, the on-farm generation will be of 3 because it has been multiplied only 3 times on the farm. And about the confidence level, so it is not really a level because it is a Boolean value. It is true or false. And on farm, we will consider that the confidence is true because we are sure of the history of this seedlot. We have the event that created the seedlot. We know it is a diffusion from the farm 1 in 2020. So the generation number is really true. But the overall confidence is false because you created this seedlot in 2018, but you don't have information about his past history. The fact is that when you started to use SHineMas, you have to create your first seedlot, and you have to choose a year when you will begin to start to use the software. But maybe you don't want to track the previous history because it is a huge work to insert, to submit this data in SHineMas. So the confidence is by default false, but you can set the value to true if you are sure of this history. So other concepts in the software, you have some person. So a person is basically an actor of your breeding activities. So the unique information mandatory is to define a short name for this person, such as ESG for Isabelle Goldringer. And you can provide more information, a first name, a last name, an email. You have location. So location is a farm, an experimental field, or any place where a seedlot is run. And it is defined also by a short name with the latitude, longitude, and elevation information that can be useful in SHineMas, and an address and a type, but it is not mandatory. The main so as soon as you have seedlots, one important concept in SHineMas will be the events that will be linked to this seedlots. So basically, an event is a relation between two seedlots, and a set of relation involves several seedlots. And SHineMas includes 5 types of events. You can have diffusion, multiplication, mixtures, cross, and selection. So the diffusion is just the action to send a seedlot from a farm to another. So you have just the concept that is depicted on the right. A multiplication is the action to reproduce a single seedlot on a farm, and a breeding method can be linked to this event. And after, if you have some repetition, SHineMas makes possible to merge the seedlot of these repetitions. So you have mixtures. Mixtures is the action to blend several seedlots, and you will create a new germplasm, as I explained before. You have cross. The cross is the action to cross two germplasm, and you will also create a new germplasm in this action. And you have selection. So it is the action of isolation of a seedlot regarding traits of interest. And in that case, it is a special case concerning the name of the seedlot. You will assign a specific tag to this seedlot to identify the selection. So now concerning the data, so you can define variables. It is the basic descriptor of data. It can be a trait, a practice, and so on. It will be defined by a name, a type, and you can also assign a source. So it is a variable that comes from a controlled vocabulary database. So I will talk about that in the training of this afternoon. A method that defines how the data have been measured. So it is the same. You define it with a name, a description, a unit, and maybe a person if you want to identify the person who created this method. And the raw data is a value measured on an individual, a plot or a seedlot, but also a germplasm. And it will be defined by a variable, a method, and a dat. And SHineMas is able to track the information of data. And you can know the user who submitted this data and the user who modified the data and the date of the modification. So just a really simple schema of how the data are organized in SHineMas. So you have seedlot, they belongs to germplasm, and germplasm are defined by a species. Seedlots are linked to events. So you have a set of events that are basic relations between a seedlot parent and a child seedlot. And you can aggregate data to events, germplasm or seedlot, and these data are defined by variables and methods. And then you have locations that will define the seedlot, or at least it is one of the descriptors of seedlot, and person that will be actors of your network that can be involved at different steps of the schema. I think I saw some question at this stage.
Yannik, there is also a hand.
Yes, I saw an hand raised. Do you have any question, Brice?
Brice, you can ask a question. We see your hand is, you raising your hand.
Yes.
No, sorry, it's a mistake.
Okay.
Okay, I saw a question of Jeremy. As it is open source software, it is planned to enable self-hosting your own instance of SHineMas. Yes, you can. The source code is available, and any entity, any organization can download the software and host his own instance of SHineMas. This is the aim. Can you please add the link also in the chat? Okay, the link of the article that I saw that Isabel published the link. So at this step, if there is no other question, I can go to the next session. Jeremy, did I answer to your question?
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. So now I will detail how we can manage information in SHineMas. So you have basically two ways to manage data in the software. You can manage data with forms. And in that case, you will be able to create or edit one object at a time. So you have an example on the right of a form that makes possible to create a germplasm. So you have a form with in which you can fill the name, the identifier of the germplasm, the type of the germplasm, a person, and the species of this germplasm. And also you can add some data. So you have a multiple form where you can choose some variables, fill the raw data, and select the method. And then you can update or create the germplasm using this form. The problem is that in that case, you can create or edit only one object at a time. So it is useful when you do some specific modification or if you have only one object to create. But if you have a set of objects to create, you can also submit some files. So the files are basically text files in CSV or TSV formats. And you will be able to create several objects at the same time. So it is applied mainly for events. So you will be able to create diffusions, multiplication, selections at the same time, germplasm or seedlots. And here is a schema that explains how you will be able to manage events information in SHineMas. So as I said previously, when you start to use SHineMas, so the database is empty, and you will need to define some initial objects. So you will create some person, some locations, methods, variables, species, some germplasm, and so you will be able to create your first seedlots. After this step, SHineMas provides some tools to prepare some files. So you will be able to export pre-filled files. So you can, for instance, select a set of seedlots, and you want to create a multiplication file. So you will define the year of sowing, and you will be able to define a set of information. And then you can export this file from the database. And after this step, in step 2, you will have to fill the file. So at this step, you are outside the web interface of SHineMas. You will work with your favorite spreadsheet software, Excel or LibreOffice or another one. And you will fill the information that we can't pre-fill in SHineMas. For example, your plot locations, the quantity that you use for sowing, and the field evaluation data. So all this information that we can't really prepare in the file of SHineMas. But as soon as your file is ready, so you have filled all the whole file, you can submit it in SHineMas. And when the file is submitted, it will create the multiplication events or any other type of events. And SHineMas will automatically create the seedlots that are in output of the relations. So in that case, it will create automatically the seedlot that will be harvested. So to summarize, you started from a set of seedlots that have no relationship. You export the file, you fill the file, and when you submit the file, it will create the relationship between the harvested seedlot and the sown seedlot with an arrow ici that you see that depict the multiplication. And the interest of that, it is that the following year, you will be able to use the harvested seedlot of the previous year and prepare a new file, fill it outside the database, and so on, submit it in SHineMas, and create your network by this way. So here, just some example of form for creating a germplasm. So I already show the single form, but you can also edit a CSV file in your spreadsheet software. The header are fixed, so it is the same field that in the form, and you will have a form in SHineMas to submit this file, and you would create some germplasm. And also, as you can see, you have two modes to submit your data. You can create new germplasm, but also you can add data on an existing set of germplasm. And in that case, you will have additional columns with the variables that you want to fill, and this will add this data to the existing germplasm. You have the same kind of forms for seedlots, so I won't say more on that because it works exactly the same way. You have forms to create seedlots, and you can export a file, fill a file, and submit the file to create a new set of seedlots. And now how you can manage the events. So as I said, you have Wizard's tools to prepare files for any type of events: diffusion, mixture, cross, multiplication, selection. but also individual data if you want to measure data at a plant level. And you have a screenshot on the left. So you have here a list of seedlots. You can click on the little button plus, and this will add the seedlot on the right window here. And you will build the list of seedlots that you want to sow. You can fill other information like the project you are working in. Do you split the seedlot? So it is an important information. That means, do you use the whole seedlot or do you keep a little part of this seedlot? And you can fill the sowing year, the harvesting year. And in that case, you can export the file, and the file will be will look this picture. And you can finish to fill the file, like the quantity that you sow, the quantity that you harvest, the location of the block and the coordinates in the field. And when your file is ready, you can submit your file as I showed previously. And this will create the harvested seedlot and the relation between the seedlot. With SHineMas, you can also manage quantity and the storage device of your seedlots. So about the quantities, when you create a new seedlot, an initial quantity can be set. So concerning multiplication, as you saw, you can fill the harvested quantity. So the harvested quantity will be the initial quantity of the harvested seedlot. And each time the seedlot is used in an event, the quantity used is recorded. And the remaining quantity of the seedlot is computed each time you consult the information. And at any time, you can update the quantity of this seedlot. And in that case, the remaining quantity will be computed regarding all updates that have been done in the past. And about the storage devices, so you can create storage devices in a location, and any seedlot that can any seedlot can be stored in the devices, and the location of the seedlot must just be consistent with the location of the storage device. So it is just a matter of logic. You can store a seedlot from your location to a device that is not on your location. In that case, you have to do a diffusion if you want to do that. So how you manage the storage devices? So you have an interface to access a location, and you can add some devices, and you have 4 levels of devices. So you can create at the first level the main device, and in each device you can create different chambers, different section, etc. And you will be able to submit a file that contains a list of seedlots and the different levels of the device. And in that case, you submit this file, and it will store the seedlots in the device. So there is so it is a new feature. So there is some point of improvement on this one, like be able to store the seedlot from an event file, or individually store the seedlot, because currently you can just use the file. And concerning the management of quantities, so as I said, you can update the remaining quantity at any time. For example, if you do an annual inventory of your seedlots, and you realize that the remaining quantity indicated by SHineMas is not the real quantity that you observe in your storage device. So, for example, here you have a seedlot which initial quantity was 550 grams, and the remaining quantity is 350 grams, because it has been used in 2 relations that used 100 grams of this seedlot. But at your annual inventory, you see that it remains only 300 grams of this seedlot. So you can access a form, fill the new quantity, and update the quantity. And in that case, you will have a new remaining quantity of 300 grams. And it is tracked that an update of the seedlot has been done with the date and the new remaining quantity. So in that case, you have already a traceability of the evolution of the level of stock of the seedlot. You can also manage some images with SHineMas. So you can submit images by batch, and you can link it to a different material in SHineMas, Jeanplast, seedlot, or events. And you will be able to see this information in the different cards. I will talk about this after in the exploration data section, but you will be able to see the related image in these cards. You can also manage weather data in SHineMas. So there is two ways to manage this data. So you can submit data in SHineMas. So you will be able to define some weather station and variables, and you will have data files that are basic matrix of data. But the main way to use weather data is to use web services. So stations and variables are automatically updated from the service in SHineMas, but we don't store the data directly in the database. We can make query to the climatic INRAE service. The main issue currently is that the data access is restricted to INRAE members. So we have a point of improvement here it is to connect the SHineMas to other services of weather databases. But this is something possible, but this is a matter of time. We didn't have the time to do that for the moment. So I don't know. It is the end of this short session, and I don't know if you have a question here. There is questions.
Yeah, there is questions in the chat. Maybe if you want to answer them.
Yeah. Thank you, Petra. Is it possible to have 2 generations in 1 year somehow? Yes, it is possible because the generation is computed at each event. So if you have 2 multiplications the same year, I don't know if it's possible because I'm not a breeder, but if you have 2, you will have 2 generations the same year. Does SHineMas include an automatic updater to follow the evolution of the software on a self-hosted instance? No, that's not the case, Jeremy. It can be an improvement of SHineMas. What we do currently, because it is important, is that if there is an evolution of SHineMas that included an evolution of the data schema, all data are migrated, of course. But no, currently you don't have automatic announcement in the interface that say there is a new version. The reason is that we don't have enough instances of SHineMas deployed in partners currently, but this is something that can be done. So, question from Bryce. For an NGO working on a research project on farmers' seeds, is it necessary to create seedlots, or what should be basis for career experiment in varietal evaluation. So if I understand your question, Brace, the idea you don't really want to track seedlots, and you mainly want to track the experiment, the evaluation of your germplasm, not at the seedlot level. So currently, SHineMas, you can't really do that with SHineMas because you need to have seedlots to track this evaluation information. But this is something that we already faced, and this is a reflection that we had just to be able to track this kind of information if you don't want seedlots, if you don't want to track seedlots. The idea we have currently is to be able to submit a file of data on varieties and not on seedlots, and just to not change the whole schema of SHineMas, the tool could create automatically a seedlot behind your file, and that will be a solution to manage this kind of data. But currently, no, it's not possible. Can separate instances talk to each other? No, currently each instance are independent. This is a question on the usage of SHineMas. The answer is a bit the same than for automatic update. The reason is that currently we do not have enough instance to answer this need. But this is also a reflection we have in LiveSeeding project, because the project could aim us to deploy several instances of SHineMas that need to talk to each other. So it's a subject in SHineMas.
Yannik, but we can
Yes.
have several users for a single instance.
Yes, of course, yes.
So several people may introduce data from their own fields or trials.
Yes. So as we deployed several instances of SHineMas for different projects, so what we have about the users in SHineMas, you can have several users, several administrators, and as much as you want user in read-only. The main issue currently in SHineMas is that currently administrators can administrate all the data. So if you are an administrator, you administrate all the data of SHineMas. Because until now we didn't had project in which we needed to close data to other administrators. But you can have as much users as you want. Okay, Adrian must leave until 13. So if there is no other question on this session, so Brice and Jeremy, I hope I answered to your question. Do not hesitate to tell me if I didn't answer to your question, and I will go to the next session. So now I will talk about how to explore data with SHineMas. So when you are in the web interface of SHineMas, you have on any interface of the web application, you can use the search bar, which is at the top of the interface. And this is a search bar with an auto-completion feature that allow to search any seedlot, germplasm, or relation. So the basic idea is to write a string of a string, and this you will see a list of available feature corresponding to the text that you fill. And from this bar, you will be able to reach any description card of the object that you selected. And this card, so here you have an example of a germplasm card. In this card, you can find all the information that describes this germplasm. So here you have a germplasm that is a cross that has been done by the person which short name is GFB. It has been created in 2006. The name is C14, and the cross has been done between two germplasms called Aloda and Poncho Sélection Fermier. On the right, you have a field set with different information on this germplasm. So this is data that has been stored at the germplasm level. So here it is an example of quality, disease, and protein information for this germplasm. You can see the image related to this germplasm. On the right, you have a map of the location where you can find seedlots of this germplasm. And if you click on the little icon, you will have the name of the location. And then at the end, the bottom of the card, you will find a picture of the network of the seedlots, all the relation between seedlots of this germplasm. So here there is a lot of seedlots, but you can see some lines of different colors that represent the different kind of events between the seedlots, and the color of the seedlots represent seedlots that are on the same location. Here you have an example of a seedlot card. So it is a bit the same. You have a field set with the general information of the seedlot, with its name, the species of this seedlot, the germplasm of this seedlot, and you have the information that this germplasm comes from a cross, where you can find this seedlot, the year of creation of the seedlot, etc. On the right, you have information about the history of this seedlot. So you have the relation that create this seedlot. So here we know that the seedlot has been created by a diffusion event, and the seedlot comes from the farm FLM. And also you can see how this seedlot has been used. So it has been used in a multiplication event between 2009 and 2010, but also it has been diffused to the FLM farm. On each relationship between seedlot, you have link to navigate in the seedlot history. So if you click on this seedlot, you can reach the card of this seedlot. And if you click on the arrow, you can reach the description of the relation between the two seedlots that I will show just after. You have also a section that describes the data related to this seedlot, and you have the field set with the stock information level. So I already talked about that. Here you have the description of a relation. So still the same. You have the general information of the reproduction, because here we are talking about reproduction. The quantity has not been tracked, so you don't have information, but you have the location. Sorry. I need to go back. Okay, sorry. You have the location of the trial with the coordinate at the field, and you know that the reproduction occurred between 2009 and 2010. On the right, you have several cross references from this relation. So you have linked to the seedlot that are directly involved in this relation. I must not click. And you have information about the previous relation and the next relation that are directly connected to this relation. And also, if you have some repetition or selection in linked to this reproduction event, you can find here the link to the other event. In the relation card, you have also field set with the data that describe this reproduction in that case. So here you have global data that are data stored at the plot level, but also you have individual data that can describe individual plants. The individual plot are just a number. They are annotated 1, 2, 3, etc. And you can set the number of plants that you measure. And finally, you can also query weather data on the relation card. And in that case, it will use the GPS coordinates of the location on which the reproduction occur. And SHineMas will select a list of stations, the closest station, weather station, the closest from your location. And in that case, you have a form that makes possible to give a priority order for the station. And in that case, because you can also choose the variables, the climatic variables, and all the variables are not measured in each station. So you can choose a list of variables, a list of stations, and SHineMas will query the data and fetch the data from the stations and in priority the station 1. And if SHineMas don't find the data related to a climatic variable, it will go to the second station and to the third station, etc. You also have a module of advanced query. So I will be fast on that because it is an ongoing work, but we are modifying this interface to split the interface in 3 different advanced query. You will be able to query germplasm, seedlot, and relations, and you will be able to combine different filters and parameters to export results of data. So I didn't say it, but in each card, when you have tables of data, you can export it in a CSV format. You have also a network explorer, so it is a bit the same than in germplasm card. Just to add information here, if you pass your mouse on a circle that corresponds to a seedlot, you will be able to click on the circle and access to the seedlot card of the corresponding seedlot. It is a way to explore data in SHineMas. You have also an independent query interface to explore weather data. So I won't say more because it is the same than in relation card. And also, you have an advanced usage of SHineMas using API. So I will try to not enter in technical stuff about that because it is not the subject. But just you have to know that SHineMas provide web services that makes possible to make some agronomic queries or just queries on list of materials. And an API makes possible to use programmatically SHineMas and to interface SHineMas with third-party tools. So it is one of the work we are doing in LiveSeeding because we are implementing a standard of API. It is called the breeding API. And so the breeding API is a standard that defines how to exchange breeding data. So you have methods for genetic resources, phenotyping, and genotyping data. The data flow is bidirectional. You can get data or submit data. And this kind of technology makes possible to interface collected data to interface with third-party tools. For example, you will be able to interface SHineMas with a mobile device with an application. While we do not provide this kind of tool currently with SHineMas. We have a classic web application, but SHineMas is not interfaced with a mobile device. And thanks to web services, we will be able to do this kind of thing. And moreover, SHineMas will be interfaced with OHM Track, which is a tool that is developed in the scope of LiveSeeding for OHM notification. So, do you have any question on this session?
You can see in the chat if there's a few questions.
Yes, I think this is more a remark from Jeremy. For mountainous georegion, you can also partner with the Roman network, which gather data from stations maintained by individuals at a professional level. Yes, indeed. So I don't know the Roma network, but it is interesting. I will note it. But this is the reason why we make possible to connect to different network, and we give the opportunity to the user to choose the weather station he want to use, because the closest station, and especially for mountainous regions, the closest station are not necessarily the most representative for your weather condition. Thank you, Gemma, for the link. So if there is no other question about how to explore data with SHineMas, now what I suggest is to fill a short quiz. So what I will do, I will copy paste the link in the chat. I will stop the presentation and I will copy paste the link. Okay. You will find a document at this URL. You can download the quiz. I will also share the file. Do you see it?
It's a bit small, but we can see
It's a
it.
bit small, okay. And I don't have all the questions. That's why it's better, I think, to download the file. And what I suggest is to you can fill you can fill the answer in an email and send me an email. I think it's a good idea also to put in copy Adrian, Petra, and Isabel. So I just give you for a reminder the email. And I think that we can let 10 minutes or 50 minutes for this quiz. And then I will just talk a bit about the bring your own data day. So I think 10 minutes is enough. This is mainly some true or false questions. So do not hesitate to tell me if you have issue to download the file. Okay. So it's time now. So what I suggest is to continue the presentation. It is soon the end. I will just give you some details on the bring your own data day and what is the idea of this kind of day. So the concept of bring your own data day is to test the tool with your own data. And the objective is to give you a better overview of a tool in a context that is relevant and comfortable for you as you use your own data. So here the idea is that you come with your data to test SHineMas, and we avoid in that case the concept to introduce the data that you will use during the training. So as I said at the beginning, today is a general presentation of SHineMas, and the main concepts have been presented. And next Monday, it will be your turn to work. So I will provide an instance of SHineMas. I will create for each trainee an individual account. And of course, this is a demo instance of the tool. So if you remember this schema that I showed during the presentation, the idea of the Bring Your Own Data Day is that we will start to work from the step 1. And in that case, during this week, you will have to provide me all the information that will avoid to us to do this step 0, which is no, it is not the most interesting things to do in SHineMas, because often you do it one time at the beginning of the software, and of course you will have to add sometimes new person, new locations, but it is really a fastidious work. So the idea is more to work on data. So what you will have to do. The objective is to create your first set of seedlot regarding information you will provide before the training, and start to build your seedlot history step by step. And for this, you can explore the different way to submit data in SHineMas, the forms, the files. Using forms on little data sets can be a good start. Of course, you will have to use the different interfaces to explore the data and see your network growing. And to do this Bring Your Own Data Day, you will have a set of supports available. So this presentation that I will send to Petra, so maybe Petra, you can confirm me that I will give you the support today, and you will be able to provide to the different attendees.
Sorry, just continue.
Okay, thank you. You will have the SHineMas documentation, so I will provide the link. And of course, I will be online to help you to fill your files as much as possible. So what you will have to provide exactly. So of course, the species you work with, and if possible, a nice picture of the species, if you have one that I can load in the tool. A list of persons involved in your data management, a list of locations, a list also of variables you want to measure, and a list of methods related to your data. So the methods are how you measure the data, and a list of germplasm you want to test in SHineMas. Just 2 little tips for this day. you don't need huge list of objects. Just stay on little list with a little set of data. The idea is really just to test the features of the tool and not to submit all your data. The most important is to provide consistent information. What I mean by that is bring some germplasm and location that are consistent. So that means bring the location where you grow your germplasm and your seedlots. Provide persons that are related to the location that you provide, etc. That is what I mean by consistent information. Be aware also that you will work on a demo instance of SHineMas, and every trainees will see the data of other trainees, so not provide sensitive information. Just all the data will be deleted after the training. So of course, to try to not provide sensitive data. So before the questions, just as I said at the beginning, this part of the training is not mandatory. So I think that I answered to the question of Linda in the chat, because it's not possible to train too much attendees to this in this session. I think it will be possible for 15 person, 15 trainers in the first time. So, and as I said at the beginning, the first session will be more dedicated to LiveSeeding partners. But if you are interested in this kind of session, and if you want to test SHineMas with your own data, you can send an email to Petra and to me, and just we will build a list of people interested by the tool, and I can organize a further session of this bring your own data day. But it is not mandatory. So you can consider that the training is finished for you today if you don't want to participate to this kind of session, but it's really optional if you want to go further in the usage of this tool. And just to finish, so what we learned today, so that SHineMas is a tool useful to track breeding activities, especially if you work on OHA. And you can, with this tool, manage biological material like genetic resources, seedlots, with their quantity and storage devices, collect and store data at different levels, and use third-party tools through web services thanks to the prepping. I see that there is other question in the chat. So Estelle, when is the Bring Your Data Day? On 10th of, it is the morning from 9 to 12. It is the morning, starting at 9. Can you tell what are the requirements for local installation of a SHineMas instance? I can say that was not my aim to enter in more technical stuff, but basically you need a web server, and what we do to facilitate SHineMas deployment is to try technologies like containers. So maybe it's not the place to talk about that, but we have systems that make an easy installation of SHineMas, but you need to have a web server where you can install an instance of SHineMas. So concerning the capacity of the server. You don't need a powerful server because SHineMas do not manage a huge amount of data, except if you start to send a lot of images. So the images can require some bigger hard drive, but this is not. You need a basic web server, and maybe I can give more information to people who want to have this information by email if they want more information. And anyway, we can also provide some help to deploy SHineMas if there is some issue. So I think that's all for me, and we can probably close this session if you do not have more questions.